Are you tired of boring, repetitive tasks that should be automated? Are you struggling to keep up with client communications? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 powerful AI tools every lawyer in 2025 needs to be using to run their firm more efficiently and impress their clients. I'll walk you through real-world examples of how each tool works so you can see exactly how to use them in your practice today. Plus, I'm giving away all the source code, instructions, and prompts I use for free so you can start integrating AI into your firm right away. And don't worry, you don't need to be a tech expert. These tools are simple, effective, and designed for use by busy legal professionals. Here's what we'll cover: the 5 essential automations and what they do, how each one saves time in your day and helps with client communications, step-by-step demos and how you can get started, and a discussion of what else you can do with each one. Everything you'll need to get started yourself today for free is in the links in the description in the video, or you can use the link in the description to book a free strategy call with me and have a chat about your AI projects. But enough talking, let's dive in and transform your firm with AI. So first we're going to look at custom GPTs. Now, everyone's seen ChatGPT. We know what that looks like. That is a chatbot that you can type to. What a custom GPT is a tool which has additional conversation starters, additional prompts that have been preloaded. It's been given instructions that gives it a particular role. So in this case, we're seeing a GPT that I've built, which is a layperson's legal translator. And what I've done is I've preloaded this with instructions that say that this will translate legal concepts into clear and professional layperson's terms. The goal here is that we're going to be able to speak to this thing and get a bunch of instructions to maybe put into an email or to help us to brainstorm something that we want to say to a client to help them to understand a legal concept. And this thing is preloaded. So let's say we want to, we have a client who wants to co-sign a car loan, and maybe we want to add some more information. So we're going to say that the client has been in a relationship with a partner they've only been dating for 2 months. Of course, you can imagine it's quite a fraught situation. So the GPT is able to give us a revised version. So considerations before co-signing a loan. Don't forget you'll have responsibility, credit risk, limited control. It may put a strain on the relationship. Don't forget the long-term impact. And you will almost certainly have other things you wanted to consider. But maybe this is a good starting point. So what we can do now is we can use this copy button. And from there, we can paste this across into an email, maybe that we have ready to go. And then we might get rid of the bits that the AI has said. And what we have here is a good starting point. And the benefit of this is that you save time by not having to think through everything that might be impactful around this. You won't have to type everything out. It becomes a case of editing the work that the AI has produced for you. So let's go behind the scenes on this and have a look at how it actually works. So it is actually ChatGPT, but there are some additional instructions that it gets given when it starts up. So you are a legal concept translator GPT that helps a user. Your goal is to remove unnecessary legal jargon, replace with accessible, accurate phrasing. When legal terms must be used, introduce them purposely and briefly. Your responses are concise, natural, and easy to understand for non-lawyers. When a user starts a conversation, have a polished explanation, gently redirect the conversation back, and maintain a respectful, helpful tone. And we've also got the ability to specify some conversation starters here. And so all of this stuff is in the GPT. Then, once you've got this ready to go, you can update it, and we can make changes. And then when we share it, we share with a link. So I can go copy link, and I can save that link to my bookmarks. I can give it to anyone who may need it. And I've got the link in the description as well. And so this generates a link, and you can copy that link and share it with people, or you can keep it for yourself. And you can use that link, and this will take us across by clicking View GPT, same as if we clicked on that link. And here we are again. And so you can see the conversation starters and everything. And so what else could we do with this tool? We could have it ask for the client's legal jurisdiction. We could have it know what area of legal specialty you're involved in. All of these things would involve just changing the instructions. And so if you want to set this up for yourself so that you can change those instructions, just have a look in the description for the link. And that is deep dive number 1, custom GPTs and a layperson's legal translator. Now, the second thing we're going to look at today is workflow automation. And there's many tools like this, but they're tools that let you automate your daily work. They let you connect the software that you use every day and pass data between them. And what happens is there'll be a trigger, like an email arriving or a customer sending a message or even a schedule. And you can have things that happen in response to that. And you can set all these things up, and then it will happen without you needing to do anything, hence the name workflow automation. And so let's dive right in. Now, this is an automation tool called make.com. And the idea of make.com is that you are dragging in circles representing data that you fetch or data that you manipulate or data that you send to somewhere else, and connecting them up. And through that, you can tell a story about what happens with data. So to demonstrate this, I've created a workflow which is right here, and you can think of it as a story that unfolds from left to right. So it starts with receiving an email, and at the end, you end up with the attachments pulled out and an email that has been sent to the person, to you potentially at your firm. And the idea here is that a client can email documents@yourdomain.com, and the attachments will be pulled out, they'll be saved into a Google Drive, and then there'll be an email that will be sent. I'll go into it a little detail, but first, let's have a demo. So we're imagining that we're a client here, and we've been told to send our document to documents at our domain, documents at your firm. So in my case, documents at my domain here. And we're going to say, here is my attached document. In this case, potentially the client has a cost agreement. So what we then do is we go and we attach the document, and we're going to go hit send here. Then we go back over to the workflow, and for the purposes of this demo, we're going to just use this run once button. Normally what you would do with these workflows is you would have this running every 15 minutes, and that will then set up a trigger so that the emails will be picked up, and you can change this number of minutes. We could say every 1 minute, for example. But to make sure that we definitely grab this email right now, let's go and do this run once. And let's have a look. So what we see here is that it's going to watch for emails. It should pick up our email. Okay, so that's picked up our email now. And it's gone ahead and created a folder in Google Drive, which we'll have a look at in just a moment. It's created a file in the Google Drive to send to the email. And it will go through our attachments and also upload those to Google Drive. If we now have a look over in the saved emails, we can see this folder has been created, and here is the email that's been saved, and here is the document that's been saved as well. So that's happened. The other thing that also happens is that we will get an email. Let's jump over to the inbox and just have a look for that. And here it is. Email arrived from my email address. Your email has been saved, and you can view it at the Google Drive folder. And if you click on that, it will take you back into Google Drive where you can see the attachments. So looking at this workflow, what else could we do with this? There are several things we could do. I mean, we could have it look at what's in the attachment, who the attachment is from. It could map that to saving to a directory for that particular case that client is related to, for example. There could be additional notifications where certain types of attachments like cost agreements trigger a conflict check, a background check to make sure that we want to work with this client. Maybe that's happened ahead of time, or maybe not. It depends on your process. But really, this idea of connecting circles and boxes and bringing together data to automate workflows generalizes really well to anything that is simple, easy to understand, is repetitive, something that you do many times in the day. You can build these out and you can keep on adding to them over time, and they can help you to just not have to swap from what you're doing to something else. And again, it's about saving time, about automating work, getting rid of drudgery, and making your life a lot simpler. Now, if you want to get started with this exact workflow, the link is in the description. You can import this into your own make.com account, and then you can start playing with it from there. And on to the next one. Now, the third thing we're going to look at today is alternative AIs other than ChatGPT. Everyone knows ChatGPT. You type to it, you get a response. Very simple. All of these tools basically look the same, but there's one key difference, and that is that they do not train on your inputs. And what do I mean by that? When you type a question or when you type to an AI, the text is sent to their servers and processed, and then the response is sent back. But during that processing, you don't know if that data is held onto. And these AIs depend on basically training on the entire internet, getting all the text that they can get a hold of. And the more text they have, the smarter they can be. So it's in the AI provider's interest mostly to keep that log. Now, this is not good if you're working on something client confidential, something privileged, anything that you don't want to be potentially held onto or retained after you get a response back. And so what we look for is a provider that very loudly says that they do not do this. And there happens to be one. There's a company called Anthropic, and they make an AI that's equivalent to ChatGPT called Claude. So let's go take a look. So when we pop into Claude's user interface, you can see it's very similar to ChatGPT. You have a box you can type in. Works the same way, and you get a response when you do. So let's just do that. How are you? But the key difference, which I'll show you, is that in their Q&A, then you can see this response being generated. They have a question: is my data used for model training? So model being the language model, the AI that you're talking to. And they say, we will not use your inputs or outputs to train our generative models, unless you've explicitly reported the materials to us, so they have anti-abuse, or you've explicitly opted in to training by joining our trusted tester program, which no doubt you would not have joined. If your conversations are ever flagged, we may continue to retain them. So Here you can see that Anthropic makes a big part of their brand value in saying that they do not do this. And for lawyers, that is gold. So we're going to have a look at what Claude is capable of. All right, so we're back over at Claude and we have a new chat here and we're ready to ask it a very basic question. So let's say, what are the writs of assistance? And you'll find that it's just as knowledgeable as ChatGPT. Both these models have full understanding of the law to the degree to which you'd be able to use them as tools, probably not use them as something client-facing where you would trust their outputs. You always need to check their output, of course, but they can give decent answers. And the other thing that you can do is upload documents and ask questions of those documents. So let's go have a try of that. We'll get a new chat and then we're going to pull a document out. So what we have here is a person has compiled a list of legal cases in which AI hallucinations, which is where an AI did not correctly produce a result and humans later discovered that, in which AI hallucinations actually caused problems for the case. So if we say pick this Concord v. Anthropic case from May, you can see the nature of the hallucination was that there was a fabricated attribution and title for an existing article. So it didn't fabricate the article, but it did fabricate the attribution. And as a result, the brief was partly struck. The court took into account as a matter of credibility. So this is a expert has provided this hallucinated attribution. And this is a PDF of the decision or the order about this. So we're going to go download this. Then we're going to pull it into Claude by uploading it. And here we have now got a document and we can say what went wrong in this case with regard to the use of AI. And Claude will examine the document and give us hopefully a great answer. So here's what went wrong, the AI hallucination problem, how it happened. Okay, so we've got ourselves a decent ability to pull in a document. You just grab your document, upload it, and then you have the ability to ask questions of that document. Of course, you need to always check that what it's produced is correct and that you actually have the valid citations. We could also ask questions about where in the document these problems lie to help guide you getting started in doing your reading and your research. And so what else could you do with this? Basically anything you can do with ChatGPT, you can also do with Claude. It has its own personality that Anthropic have gone out of their way to try to create, and it is just as usable in every single way. And I personally use this in my daily work all the time. Now, the fourth thing we're going to look at today is what you can do when you connect AI to your data. So what we're going to show here is Claude given access to your calendar or my calendar and inbox and Google Drive and show you what can be done just with one prompt. So let's dive in. Okay, so here we have Claude again, just like before. The only difference is this time I've connected it up to Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Calendar, and that allows me to ask questions like, what schedule conflicts do I have? Maybe I'll say, don't worry about all-day events. I'm only really interested in things during work hours here, and it's going to go and look at the calendar and figure out what schedule items are in conflict. And bear in mind, I haven't had to do any manual inspection of the calendar. I've just asked a very simple question. And you can kind of imagine if this happened every morning with an automation, say something you built in make.com, you would start to be able to very quickly pull in data and do things that you otherwise would be doing manually to make your day that much easier. And we can also do things with our email. So I've recently been working with a few providers to get a suit organized for my wedding. So let's say maybe I needed to change an appointment. So I was going to go to visit Ferrari Formal Wear, but I need to move it to tomorrow. So let's say draft a response to Ferrari Formal Wear about the booking. I need to reschedule to the following day. What's really impressive here is that Claude will realize that I'm referring to an email and it'll go and search emails for me. And then it will use the data that it finds to conduct another search and eventually come up with a draft that will achieve what I want to achieve. Right now, because it doesn't have the ability to actually send the email, I have to copy and paste this content. And something else that you can do, and what I've gone and done here is I've said, I need a more brief version of this email. So I've said, can you make it more brief, please? And of course, Claude has gone ahead and said, I'll make you a new version, and it's now much more concise. And let's go and jump over to that version. You can see that this is a much shorter, ready to go version. So you either can take that version 1, paste it and edit it, or you can ask for edits inside the AI, but as soon as you're ready, you can bring this stuff over to your own tools. And that's deep dive number 4. And our fifth and final deep dive today is going to be into meeting recording and note-taking tools. And there are plenty of these tools. They allow you to finish your meeting and immediately get a summary, get action items, get a recording, and hopefully get all of that annotated with lots of useful information. So with that, let's dive right into Fathom. So Fathom Video is another note-taking tool, but what's unique about this tool is that they never train their AI on your data. In the same way as Claude does versus ChatGPT, this is a tool that claims very loudly, let me just show you this, that they do no AI training, they don't delete, they don't retain your data, they don't share or sell it. And these things are crucial for any lawyer who wants to keep their client's data confidential, keep privileged information secret, ensure that they are being responsible with what their client is providing. So let's have a look at what Fathom shows you. When you come into Fathom, you have all of your history of calls. And just for the sake of demonstration, we're going to have a look at a recording of a call after it has been made. So this is the demo.
All right. Hello, and welcome to Fathom. I'm Richard White, founder of Fathom, and this call here is designed to be just a quick sample recording. We're actually going to do a demo of Fathom, but we figured
I can jump into the transcript and I can click on locations in the time. You can see that you can jump straight to something that maybe you've read that looks interesting. It will also produce a summary for you, and it will allow you to jump straight to the meeting points that you're interested in. So just to jump to another real-world example, there's a fellow YouTuber, Brandon Hancock. Big shout out to him. He's provided an amazing amount of value, including a huge community of fellow AI developers that I'm involved in. And these people have a weekly call with Brandon where he helps them out. So every time the call happens, afterwards the meeting is shared via Fathom. So this is an example call. Most recently, that we can have a look at, and we can just go through some of the features of the tool where you can see what was discussed. So if I just hit play here, I'm just going to mute it, and we can, instead of seeing a transcript, we can have a look at a summary, and you can jump straight to some of the things that were discussed. So for example, somebody was doing a WhatsApp integration for venue information. I can just click on that, and it will jump me straight to the location in the history that was being discussed. Another thing that you can do is you can, of course, read the transcript. You can scroll somewhere, or you can even search the transcript, and again you can jump to the location in the video where this item was being discussed. You can see them talking about a project that somebody in the community is working on. And the final thing is you can ask the AI that's behind Fathom what is in the meeting with your own questions. So what was surprising in this meeting, and you can see it actually composing an answer. So here we have the AI saving you potentially minutes, maybe even hours of work, just combing through videos, looking for insights, looking for things that you remember. Maybe someone said something and you only caught a glimpse of it, and the AI might know that you remember this as being discussed with one particular word, but maybe someone used a similar word that's not the same, and a normal search would not find that. So even if you search the transcript, you may not find it, but you can ask the AI. And so Fathom is a fantastic tool. It's free for as much use as you want, and it doesn't train on your data. I think this is ideal for lawyers, and that's why I've chosen this one to demonstrate today. In this video, we looked at 5 AI tools that help you save time, focus on the work that really matters, and scale. First, we looked at custom GPTs, letting you preload instructions into ChatGPT so it's ready to go. Second, we looked at Make.com and workflow automation, where you can bring data from one place to another. Third, we've looked at Claude, an alternative AI that can understand documents and let you ask questions. Fourth, we looked at AIs that can connect to data and can pull down data about things like your calendar, your email, or even your documents inside your company. And fifth and finally, we looked at meeting recording tools that provide you with a summary, a clickable list of discussion items, action items, and the ability to even query what happened in the meeting using AI. So thanks for staying to the end. I look forward to bringing you more videos in the future. And as always, it's great to see ya.